Hey, so have you ever received a message from God that was such a spiritual aha moment that all you could do is say thank you? It can be the most random time of the day. You can be doing the most random thing, and it just hits you on why God sent you through that journey. I had that moment today. I had it earlier, and I was kind of hesitant on sharing it with you all, but after really talking and just praying about it and really asking God, is this something I need to share? Yeah, share the message. So let me explain to you what happened. Earlier, I was sitting in my bed and I was strolling on Facebook. And one thing I like to do is I like to go through and wish everybody a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday, because there's such a emotional and spiritual connection that I have with doing that I did not even have 8 months ago. Now, why is doing something so simple so important? It's because of the journey that God sent me through. That's why. And when I was sitting there and I was sitting doing that happy birthday and stuff like that and happy belated birthday, I realized that there were several people that I had missed like 3 days ago, and I felt so bad about it. And I literally had to ask myself, like, why are you feeling bad about this? You don't even know these people. And it was because I understand on a deep spiritual level, on a very deep rooted spiritual level, how good it feels to have that happy birthday. And it's not because it's just your birthday. And it's not because anybody neglected me on my birthday. But it's because saying happy birthday, just that one little post, lets somebody know that they're seen. It plants a little mustard seed of hope that they are not invisible and that their reasoning on this earth actually matters. There's a purpose why they're here. And I know y'all might be like, girl, you are just being dramatic. But I'm telling you, you might not think it's something big, but oftentimes I go on these pages and I'll say happy birthday, because that's like, I think I got like 5,000 followers, and nobody would have responded to them. And they could have even more followers to me, but there will not be a happy birthday. And I'm just like, what? And what I end up receiving that day or a couple of days later is thank you so much. You don't know how much that really meant to me. I really appreciate that. Do you know you were the only one? And although I don't respond back to all those messages, I'm so glad that I was the one that was able to wish you happy birthday, that was able to let you know that you were seen, that was able to plant that mustard seed of hope, of visibility, to show you that you are not, invisible. And I thank God for that, because that's not something I would have done a year ago. Honestly, it really wasn't. I would have been on Facebook posting random stuff, just trying to hope I get enough views so I can get money. I wouldn't have cared. Now I barely post reels. I don't care about the money when it comes to Facebook. I don't even think I received like a dollar check from them. But for me, it's about going on there, writing those posts, and letting people know they're seen. And so anyway, to get back on track, I was in the middle of writing the messages, and I said, I get it now, God. I get now why you sent me through that hailstorm of a journey, like a little over 10 months ago. I get why you revealed everything. I get why you uprooted me. I get why you sent me on that journey of just walking up and down. Like, there was an event that happened to me that I'm not going to really speak about, because I know if I did, it would be dramatic enough and big enough to where I would be on the Shade Room. I would be on major platforms. And I would be the spokesperson. Not that I want to be. And let me clarify that. It would be a spokesperson for, see, I told you, it would not be a good thing for me. It would be a totally bad thing. It would be like a, it would be a very, very bad thing. And I don't want to be the spokesperson for that. I don't want to be, I just don't want that. Right? That's how bad the event was that happened to me. It was so bad that my family was like, I think we need to go ahead and institutionalize her. And my mother's a nurse. She was like, I think we might need to institutionalize her because she's walking up and down this hot country road, not eating. I wasn't on drugs and I was not laced. Let me say that. But she's not eating. She's just walking. My neighbors are freaking out. Like, I could not explain it because in my mind, like, I was on earth, but it's like God had placed me in a wilderness. And all I could do was just pray and ask God and try to figure out why. Because I was literally, now I see what I didn't see then. So let me just say that I see now what I didn't see then. Was that God was literally rebuilding me spiritually and everything. The whole purpose of this is to let you know that there is a reason. And you might not see the reason. Because when I was going through that and when I was being rebuilt and when I was being rerooted, because I made a video on how to like root yourself. When God was literally rerooting me, I didn't understand it. I just knew that I was miserable and I didn't want to be here. In any way, in every way, I tried to just get out of here, if y'all know what I mean. Because I didn't understand it. But there is a reason. God always has a reason. God always has a plan. But you have to, and this is the part that sucks, you have to go through it. You have to go through that journey, that miserable, painful journey. And it might not even be something that you caused. And that was the thing that confused me the most, because what I went through didn't align with the work that I was putting in. And I have a feeling that you might be going through something similar. Or you might be like, okay, God, this does not align. I'm putting in the work. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to work every day. I'm saving. Why am I losing my house? Why am I losing my car? Why am I losing my job? Like, this does not align with the work that I put in. I get it. I get it. I get it on such a deep, spiritual, rooted level that I cannot even, there's no words. I get it, because when God sent me on that journey, when God uprooted me, when God revealed those things, the only thing I say was, this does not align. It wasn't like, I believed in you, God. I was going to church. I was reading my Bible. This does not align with everything that's... Wait a minute. 2 plus 2 is not equaling 4 here. Why am I going through this? Why did this happen to me? What was I doing wrong? What? Those were the questions that I pondered over for months. Those were the questions that had me walking up and down the road. Those were the questions. And I remember one day I was riding with my little brother in the car, and I said, you know, God has me in a place where only I can call on him. There's no one I can talk to the right, left, front, or back of me. The only person that can really fix me right now is God. And I just apologize because I was embarrassed. But I didn't know how to help myself. The only thing I knew to do was to keep praying. And I was fasting. I didn't even know I was really fasting. I was just reading my Bible, like everything. And it was like, but God has a reason. So I'm saying this because you might be going through something, or your family might see, you might see a family member going through something, and you're like, I can't help them. Do I institutionalize them? What do? I don't know what to do. Let God handle it. Because whatever journey, whatever road God is sending that person down, there's a reason for it. And you have to first of all, you can't intervene. No matter what, you are not going to be able to intervene. Because when God puts his hands on somebody, and when God decides to deal with someone, there's nothing that you can do. And I want to take a moment and just clarify my messaging behind that. When I say when God puts his hands on someone or when God decides to deal with someone, that doesn't mean the person did something bad. But what I'm saying is that I really do believe that for those who believe in God, he has his moments where he has to rebuild them, or he has to deepen their connections. And they might be going through that. And so for me, that was something that I honestly feel like God was doing. We had a connection, but God needed to uproot me from where I was. God needed to basically rebuild me, re-strengthen me. And my eyes needed to be open because there was a lot going on that I just could not see. And that was because I was in an environment that didn't want me to see it. And I remember the week the incident happened, there was such a spiritual awakening. And it's like, I was literally saying, I literally knew that I was going to leave, but I didn't know. It's like I had a feeling like something's going to happen, but I don't know. Little did I know, God was like, oh no, you're about to leave all of this. Within 24 hours, less than 24 hours, it was all gone. And again, at the time, I did not know why. I had no clue because I'm like, this doesn't make sense. What's going on? But if I had stayed in that place, I would not have the deep understanding. I would not be able to talk to you all. I would not be able to connect with people on such a spiritual and emotional level. My content, I feel like it's a whole lot different now because the words that I'm saying are filled with emotion from such a spiritual place. They're filled with a understanding for people that I don't know on a level that I cannot explain. It's like I may not have went through what you may have went through. I may not have lost someone, but I can come to a certain level of empathy that I couldn't before. And that's why I was really thanking God when I was writing those Facebook happy birthday messages, because again, 8 months ago, a year ago, I wouldn't have really cared that much. I wouldn't have been able to have such a spiritual level of empathy for people. I wouldn't have been able to really step outside myself, my own selfishness, and understand the purpose behind it. Even when it comes to my videos, there's such a deep level of understanding and purpose for things that I'm saying. And it's like, I can post my videos, and before I was like, oh, what the comments say. Now I'm just like, no, because I have a core audience that I'm looking to reach, and there's a reason why I want to reach them, and there's such a deep emotional connection that's spiritual with every video that I put out. And I thank God for that, because I'm like, this was the reason. This was the reason why you revealed deception. This was the reason why you had me understand it. This was the reason why you had me reading the Bible. This was the reason why you had me literally just going through a space where all I was doing was studying. This is the whole reason. Because you needed me, God, to understand something on such a deep level that was outside of this world. Because there are people out there that you are going to want to connect with, that you are going to want to speak with. But until you go through this, journey, you're not going to be able to. Because you're not going to have a level of empathy. You're not going to have a spiritual connection. You're not going to be able to feel things that you have not been through yet. And so, when I was going through that journey and God was rebuilding me and rerouting me, I'm now able to sit here and talk to you all from such a deep spiritual place. And I had to literally say, thank you, God. Thank you for sending me through that journey. Thank you for uprooting me. Thank you for revealing things to me. Thank you because you have made me so much stronger, so much wiser. You have gave me so much clarity. You have taught me how to use discernment. You, like, the words that I speak, there's some things that I always say because it's in the Bible. And it talks about how God holds fools close. But also how once you are no longer a fool, God doesn't take pity on people who are no longer fools, because you know what you are doing. And having that level of understanding, it wasn't just for me. It was for, at the time I was asking a lot of questions like, why are you letting this happen, God? And this person knows what they're doing wrong, and X, Y, and Z. And just going through and reading the Bible, I was able to get a clear understanding. God's not a fool. And he doesn't take pity. He holds fools close. But once God knows you're not a fool, you can do all the praying you want to. Sorry, dog. Sorry about that. We had a little disruption. But anyway, this whole video is all about how you might not understand the journey that God is sending you on. You might not understand the reason, but you have to keep going. Keep just little baby steps every day. Just have a mustard seed of faith. Because I didn't understand it a year ago. I did not understand it. But now I do. And I'm so grateful for it, because what God has planned for me, I needed to go through that journey, because I needed to be able to feel emotions that I can't explain. I need to be able to see things in my eyes that the next person cannot see. And I'm so grateful for that, because the amount of messages, the amount of people that I talk to, the amount of content that I put out, just the whole way that I move through life is so different. Because first of all, I've always walked through faith. My faith is so much stronger. Like the way that I have empathy, the way that I have clarity, just the way that I move is different. The choices that I make are completely different. And so I want to say this. There's a reason why God is sending you through that. You may not understand, because I didn't understand. But God has a plan. You just have to believe. You just have to keep moving forward. Keep the faith alive. Keep believing and understand. God's not sending you through that for no reason. He's not revealing lies, deception, manipulation for no reason. He's not uprooting you from your home, your job, taking away your car, putting you in a different city. He's not uprooting you for no reason. There's a reason why God is sending you through that journey. You just have to be strong enough and have enough faith to hang in there. Because it's beautiful, it's peaceful. It's literally like I walk through life right now. I have stress. I have, the normal anxiety and things of that nature. But I walk through life with so much clarity. I use so much deception. I use so much discernment. Sorry. I use so much discernment in the way that I speak, who I speak to. I have a level of just empathy. I walk through life very peaceful now in a way that I didn't before. And I can be very sharp when I speak now, but it's a sharpness from clarity. I will say that. The way I speak now, a lot of people may seem like, oh my gosh, it's harsh or it's mean. But it comes from so much, it comes from clarity, and it comes from wanting people to understand you don't have to talk to me with a veil. There's no reason for that. I know what this is. You know what this is. We're not going to talk with a veil on. And if you feel like you want to talk to me with the veil on, then no, go talk to someone else. Come to me with clear, pure intentions, because I can see through a lot of it. And I thank God for that, because I'm able to talk to you all, and I'm able to make connections. And a lot of people who I thought honestly would just disappear, I have deeper connections with. A lot of people who God revealed the deception and all of the things to, I'm able to literally see through it now. And I thank God, because if he hadn't sent me on that journey, if he hadn't lifted that veil from over my face, I wouldn't be where I am today, in a much happier, healthier, peaceful place. God has a reason for every single thing he's doing.